Today we are going to examine the American Revolution, which was the American colonies' fight for independence from Great Britain. Basically, had it not been for the war and our separation from Great Britain, we would all be drinking tea and eating muffins while watching soccer and yelling glory to the Queen. The first thing we are going to do is break into groups. I will assign each one of you to your group. That way you don't group up with your friends and just want to hang out. Also, each group member will be assigned an area in which they will study and become an expert. Once you have your area of study, you will do an individual research. Kind of just go in your little spot and do some research. After that, each one of you will get together with your similar experts from other groups and discuss your findings. Make sure to get as much info as you can, because in the next step, you will go back to your groups and take the role of teacher. Each person in their group will provide their expertise to their group members, thus teaching them everything they have learned so far. Then we'll get back together as a class and review what we have learned. All right, let's do this.
Okay, so I studied the causes of the Revolutionary War. One of the main causes was when King George imposed taxes on the colonies without their consent. This outraged the colonies. And another main reason was when the war was when a young man took his ship loaded with tax tea from Britain and declared he would see it unloaded. A group of the colonists dressed as American Indians boarded the ship in the night and they threw the tea overboard. This was known as the Boston Tea Party.
Okay, guys, so my topic is about the three of the major battles on American Revolutionary War. The first battle that I'm going to talk about is about the Lexington and Concord 1775. It was a battle that started the American Revolutionary War by Paul Revere, saying, "The British are coming." No one knows who fired the first gunshot. The American militia was defeated by the British. So those are the significant information about the Lexington and Concord of 1775. The second battle that I'm going to talk about is about the Battle of Bunker Hill, 1775. It was the turning point of the battle. The British didn't get the easy victory that they were expecting because the Americans fought hard back. The British still won the battle, but after this battle and the Lexington and Concord of 775 battle, they lost about a quarter of their soldiers in Boston. So those are the significant about the Bunker Hill Battle of 1775. The third battle that is very significant to the American Revolutionary War is the Battle of Yorktown. It was significant because the British surrendered and we, the Americans, won the war led by the General Washington. The Americans, with their allied friends, surrounded the British army and forced the British to surrender. This was the last battle of American Revolutionary War, and after that, the treaty was placed in Paris. So those are the three battles that are very significant to American Revolutionary War.
Hey everybody, I researched life in the 13 colonies. There were 2 million people, most of them were farm workers, and the farms consisted of mostly cash crops, and tobacco was one of the major crops there. The average house was 1 to 2 bedrooms and dirt floors, and then the small majority were wealthy, had 2-story houses, and if people did live in the city, they traded with people on the farms to get their produce. And when the wars did come, they had a choice to either join the war cause or try to farm, but many times war came onto their farms. So that's what I learned.
So basically everything that we went over today was the life that the colonies had and the reasons why they wanted to start the war and some significant battles that were a part of the war. The reason why the colonies really wanted to start the war against Great Britain and gain their independence was due to the overtaxation and their trade commerce, which they didn't agree with because at the time the colonies were strictly farmers and they had a lot of goods that they could send to Great Britain. There were a lot of battles a part of the Revolutionary War, but there were 3 really significant ones that we talked about. The first was the Battle of Lexington and Concord, then there was the Battle of Bunker Hill, and then finally it was the Battle of Yorktown, which ended the war, causing Britain to sign a peace treaty.
So, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that the American Revolution was our war of independence from England. We learned some of the causes of the war, such as the overtaxation of the colonies. We took a look at American society at the time and saw how the war affected all aspects of it. We also discussed some of the battles that had major consequences toward the outcome of the war. Most importantly, however, you learned how to work as a team, you constantly communicated and socialized, did your own research as well, and brought it all together in a great finalized project. That is how the Jigsaw method works.